Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ. Jenny Dell here as we continue our NFL training camp tour. Our analysts have been spanning the country, bringing you the latest from camps, including exclusive one-on-one interviews and expert analysis. Today, we are live at Packers training camp. Green Bay head coach Matt LaFleur saying on Thursday that he intends for all 4 Green Bay quarterbacks, including Jordan Love, to get meaningful reps during Saturday's preseason opener against the Jets. That's reported from our Zach Jacobson of 247sports.com. And we are now joined live from Packers training camp by our CBS Sports Senior NFL Analyst Pete Prisco. So Pete, let's jump right into it. I got to ask about Jordan Love. He's focusing on the finer details of playing his position in this training camp. What's stuck out to you so far?
Well, he's focused on being healthy because he wasn't healthy last year. And talking to people around the organization and talking to him today, it took him a while last year to get healthy. Remember, he missed the first 4 days of practice last year in a contract dispute. That held him back a little bit. Then he got hurt in the opener, and then he banged it up again during the season. So he was never really the same as he was the year before until late in the season, and I think that showed. He's healthy now, and it showed up on the practice field. He made some big-time throws today. Matthew Golden, rookie, #1 pick, he had a great catch in the back of the end zone. Jordan Love will be just fine. In fact, all those doubters out there, because they've come back out again, you need to go back inside and hide again because he's going to have a big year for the Packers.
Of course, his success speaks to the connection that he is building with his weapons out there. You just mentioned Matthew Golden. Now, Jordan Love was asked who's the best newcomer at Green Bay Packers training camp, and he very, very quickly said, Matthew Golden's that guy. What have you seen him from that connection? You talked about that sharp pass he had out there.
It's amazing the hands that the kid has. And I talked to him yesterday. Remember, he's the guy who caught the pass for the touchdown against Arizona State on 4th and 13. He stole my heart, and I told him that. But you know what I also talked about? His hands. His hands are amazing. And he hasn't dropped the pass the entire training camp, they told me. And when you watch him, it's unreal how he pulls the ball right in. It makes it look easy. And you know why that is? And he brought this up. 7-on-7 camps. You know, these kids start when they're 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, and then they get to high school. They're playing football year-round. It's not like you play the other sports anymore, so they catch a lot of passes. He's been phenomenal. This is a group that's really talented. By the way, Romeo Doubs has been the guy who's had the best camp of all the wide receivers. So it might not be a group with a #1 wide receiver, but it has a lot of guys, and Jordan Love likes that.
A lot of talent out there. We're going to talk about the defensive side of the ball now. One name that keeps popping up, Edgerrin Cooper. People around the team saying he could be the next great linebacker in Green Bay. How big of a role could he play this season?
Well, he was dinged up a little bit early last year. It took him a while to get going, but late in the season, he was phenomenal, and they expect big things. You know, you talk about that inside linebacker position. There aren't a lot of great players in this league. He's on the verge of being the next one. You know, you talk about some of those guys around the league, Roquan Smith and guys like that. Fred Warner, he's going to be talked about in that same type of category this year at the end of the season. That's how much they expect from him. It's a good group. Quay Walker next to him, good player. But this kid is going to be special. They have high hopes for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not an all-pro player this year.
I got to ask, too, if there's one area the Packers know they need a little bit more production from, it's the pass rush. You know, who needs to step up? Obviously, cutting Jair Alexander out there. Who do you see kind of stepping into that role?
Well, I think when you look at the cornerback position, Alexander was let go. They got Nate Hobbs. He's been banged up. He's not going to be ready until the opener, at least for a couple weeks. He'll be a starting corner for one of those positions, but they feel okay about their corners. The pass rush is the problem. And when you talk about the pass rush, Rashad Gary had 7.5 sacks last year. He needs to be better than that. And, you know, in fairness to him, he was one of the most chipped guys in the league. Guys were always hitting him because he didn't get a lot of production from the other side, didn't get a lot of production from the inside. I think Lucas Van Ness, the other outside edge rusher, has to be a big-time producer this year. He was a first-round pick. He's one of those guys you count on. Last year, it just didn't happen. They say this year he's been much better. We'll see when the lights go on.
All right, Pete, it's on record that you are always a big fan of the Packers. You always have very lofty expectations of this team. I want to take a listen to your preseason prediction from last year real quick.
I like the Packers. I think the Packers are winning it all. I really do. I like the makeup of this team. I think when you look at it, I mentioned the offense. Well, go to the defense. The cornerbacks and the secondary, you're adding Xavier McKinney to that back end of that defense is a big addition for them. The pass rush will be better because they're going to play the 4-man front. I thought they were a little miscast in what they used to do. This is going to be a much more aggressive unit. I love this team across the board.
Okay, so that was August of last season. It is now August, preseason now. What's the outlook for the Packers in your mind in 2025?
Can I defend myself on that
Yeah,
prediction
go for
last
it.
year?
Go
Jordan
for
Love
it.
got hurt. I mean, he wasn't the same guy. I mean, he got hurt, and they ended up going on the road at Philadelphia. Remember, they lost the playoff game. But what happened in that playoff game? The opening kickoff. Remember, there was a fumble. And by the way, Green Bay got the ball back. The officials didn't give it back to them. It set the tone for the game. Eagles won the game. Eagles go on and win the Super Bowl. Green Bay's right there with them. I think they're going to be right there with them again this year. This team is loaded. They were the youngest team in the league last year. That means that a lot of guys got experience. A lot of guys played. A lot of first-year guys will now be second-year guys. Second-year guys will be third-year guys. Those guys all have experience. You're going to see that. They win the division, and they push for a Super Bowl. Am I ready to pick them yet? No, but I might.
Ooh, a little tease right there. Pete Prisco joining us live from Packers camp. Pete, we appreciate you. Go get in some AC, Pete. It's time.
Yeah.
All right, looking at our training camp tour schedule as it rolls on all week. We're talking Cowboys all week. There's so much to talk about with that squad. Today, obviously focused on the Packers. On Friday, that's tomorrow, we're going to Chicago, Caleb Williams and the Bears. Then we're wrapping things up August 11th and the 13th with the Niners and the Baltimore Ravens.